Welcome to Lair the Alchemist, where we discuss all things heavy metal and hard rock. On today's episode, let's discuss Def Leppard's 1980 album On Through the Night and 1981's High and Dry. Before that, though, I did a video on this album, and this is a live album that I believe was part of a box set, but then it came out as a record store day. And this is just a fantastic live album, April 1980. So it is between their first album, On Through the Night and High and Dry. But they play a lot of songs from High and Dry. They even play some riffs and bits and pieces of things that would land up on Pyromania. And hearing that live album really makes you remember what a great, straightforward, hard-rocking band Def Leppard was. Now, Def Leppard pretty quickly tried to distance themselves from the new wave of British heavy metal. And to this day, they act like they were never part of that and everything. But when you hear these early albums from them, especially On Through the Night, you hear their connection to that, and you hear what a hard-driving, just straight-up great, hard-rocking band Def Leppard was. And I think it comes through really well on these two records. Now, the first one, 1980's On Through the Night, I love this picture on the back too. I love the old days of live shots on the back of a band's album cover. This is produced by Tom Allom, and Tom Allom, I think is how it's pronounced. He did, I believe, all the 1980 Judas Priest albums. He started with Unleashed in the East, and then I believe he did all the 1980s Priest. I know he did all the big ones like Screaming, British Steel, Point of Entry, and all that. He was even all the way back involved in the first Black Sabbath album, I believe, as like a engineer or assistant of some sort. The quality on this is the recording quality. It's simple, but it's straightforward. It works for what this is. A lot of hard driving stuff. Pete Willis is still in the band at this point. And I really like the dynamic between Steve Clark and Pete Willis. It really shines through on that live album that I just showed you. And you sort of hear it on the record here. There's a nice interplay between the two of them. And so some of the songs on here that I think are great is Rock Brigade. Opens with Rock Brigade. That's a super cool one. Hello America. They make their intention known right away that, they're trying to get out of Britain. Their eyes are set on America. And let's face it, they would conquer America. Not too many years after this album would come out, really, with Pyromania, they would explode and be huge. Sorrow is a Woman is a really cool one. I've always liked When the Walls Come Tumbling Down. I think that one's great. Wasted opens up side 2. That's a very NWO BHM feeling type of number to me. Side 2 isn't quite as catchy as side 1 is for me, but it still captures sort of this youthful energy of the band. The modestly budgeted recording values on it, I think, work for where the band was at this point. But with 1981's High and Dry, they really take a step up, and a big part of that is Mutt Lange. They bring in Mutt Lange on this, famous at this point for doing like Highway to Hell and Back in Black. And I think that the production on this album is fantastic. I do like Pyromania, but I think that Mutt Lange started moving towards where he would eventually end up on Hysteria. And I did a video on Hysteria, how that was my I'm out moment for Def Leppard, and a lot of people came at me hard on that one, did not agree with me on that, but I stand by everything that I said about Hysteria. I wish that Mutt Lange could have found a happy medium, maybe here between High and Dry and Pyromania. It still sounds like a live band here. I think on Pyromania he started using a drum machine for some aspects of the drum mix, and by the time you get to Hysteria, it loses a lot of this live fire and energy that I think that Def Leppard has. And so for me, High and Dry is a nice sort of sweet spot there, and he gets the most out of the band here, whereas On Through the Night is pretty simple and straight ahead. Here you hear that Mutt Lange touch of the extra vocals, the little bit more in the production, the little bit more with some things going on with the guitars. The band's a little bit tighter. Again, that's a trademark of him. And it sounds like here on High and Dry, he's still sort of sticking with like the formula that he had with Back in Black and Highway to Hell, which is basically to let the band play, beef up the background vocals, just make sure everything's in tune, make sure everything is tight, you know, streamline the songs so that everything, so there's no extra wasted extended solos and things like that, you know, big choruses and all that stuff. And you get that all over this record. The opening track, Let It Go, classic Def Leppard, upbeat, you know, very catchy, big chorus. Another Hit and Run is fantastic. High and Dry, Saturday Night, has just an amazing chorus. Again, taking this energy of the band, but just really focusing it, getting them really tight. When that chorus kicks in, it's a really big, huge chorus, which is just awesome. Bringing on the Heartbreak, fantastic ballad, so well written. The layered guitars, the harmonies in the guitar, the way the verse drops down is very moody. But then when that pre-chorus would be, other bands would, that pre-chorus would have been the chorus for most bands. You got the best of me. The way that builds it up, bring it, is just very well written. I mean, you got to think that that is the touch of Mutt Lange in there, you know, helping them bring out these ideas and just making them really just jump out of the grooves. And then you've got the instrumental Switch 625, which I think is super cool. This is a great example of, it's an instrumental, but it isn't like just some guitar showcase type thing. There's very cool melodies to it. A lot of times you'll even hear on the radio, you'll hear Bring On the Heartbeat, and they'll let it go right into Switch 625 because those two sort of flow into each other. Side 2 is great also. You Got Me Running, Lady Strange is awesome, On Through the Night is super cool. Mirror Mirror, and I love the way the album ends on No No No. Again, sort of has this NWO BHM vibe to it. So super great album, and in my opinion, my probably, yeah, I would say this, my favorite Def Leppard album is High and Dry. When I was younger, I would have said Pyromania, but I just like High and Dry because it captures the energy of the band, and I get to hear what was on here. That the fire and you know, just electricity from this live performance is just, it's still on High and Dry, but it's you know, the tempos are all, whereas on the live record you can hear them speeding up and slowing down at times. Here, you know, it's the Mutt Lange brings in, he keeps the energy, he keeps the fire and enthusiasm of this young band getting ready right on the doorstep of conquering the world here, and they would do that with their next record. Pyromania would just explode. They'd be all over MTV, and of course Hysteria would be a massive record for me. But right here is really, for me, my favorite Def Leppard. I wish they could have stuck with this. Wish he could have done what he did with like Highway to Hell to Back in Black and For Those About to Rock. He could have taken High and Dry, you know, and just had the same sort of production value and performances and gotten the same type of performances out of the band on Pyromania. So as it stands, I absolutely love High and Dry. On Through the Night is also great. So let me know what you guys think of these two records in the comments down below. Make sure you hit like and subscribe. And until we see you again, make sure you rock till you drop.